For centuries, migratory and resident populations of habara bustard have existed on the Arabian Peninsula, and the ancient practice of hunting them with falcons was a necessary survival skill for the indigenous Bedouin people, who lived in the harsh desert climate. First breeding program, however, the number were declining in UAE. This led to establishing the first breeding program in UAE 1970, by late Sheikh Zayed bin Sultan Al Nahyan. Today there are many breeding programs established in many other countries, to restore the numbers of habara birds in the world, as part of Millennium Group commitment to protect wildlife and preserve species living in Somaliland. By being partner with the local authorities, we will develop plans to sustain the wildlife stock in the habitat. First step is organizing managed hunting trips, controlling the number of hunted birds and animals, and controlling the number of falconers and hunters in every season. This organized hunting trips will generate an income both to the investor, Somaliland authorities, and the local community, creating job opportunities for the Somalilanders, and bringing income to the remote communities. Also, this will lead to cease all illegal activities, and stop unlicensed hunting which is carried on in Somaliland nowadays. Second step, by developing a plan to replace and increase the number of habara in the wilderness. For this purpose, Millennium Group plans to use part of the income generated from the hunting tourism to sustain the continuity of the business, by establishing a breeding program for the bustard habara in Somaliland, based on studies of habara bustard populations. Captive breeding biologists ensure that this bird is very shy and sensitive, thus breeding in captivity is very difficult and useless, unless artificial breeding ways are used. This is why all the breeding centers uses the artificial insemination for breeding in captivity. Breeding habara is very challenging. Most of the birds are only able to breed once they reach maturity at 3 years or more. Also, habara breed from December to March. If it's too hot or too cold, the male habara won't produce sperms, and therefore several parameters must be set in place to maximize potential breeding. That is why special techniques should be used in sperm collection. Artificial insemination, such as breeding techniques, collect sperm from individual males no more than every 4 days, to ensure maximum sperm quality and quantity. Inseminate an absolute minimum of 10x10, 6 spermatozoa per female per insemination. Inseminate the females before the onset of laying, to increase the probability of a fertile first clutch. Inseminate each female every 7 days, to ensure she is well stocked with semen. Collect the eggs in reasonable time, examine the live eggs to ensure the fertility, place the eggs in incubation rooms, monitor the incubation conditions, incubators, incubation room temperature and humidity, biosecurity, control or prevent the entry of biological agents such as bacteria and viruses, disease control. A CVRL program of vaccination is set annually. Collect the eggs in reasonable time, examine the live eggs to ensure the fertility, place the eggs in incubation rooms, monitor the incubation conditions, incubators, incubation room temperature and humidity, biosecurity, control or prevent the entry of biological agents, such as bacteria and viruses, disease control. A CVRL program of vaccination is set annually. Chicks taken from the hatchery within 24 hours of hatching to be grouped into small flocks. Each flock consisted of chicks of similar age. The chicks kept indoor in nursery room for the first 25 days of their life with infrared heating. During this period the chicks are fed special diet consists of dry pellets, dry matter, crude protein, calcium, phosphorus, immersion in water enriched with vitamins, solution. Also daily the chicks offered crickets. After the chicks complete 1 month checks, receive mealworms 1 meal every 3 hours, from sunrise to sunset to stimulate their pecking behavior. During this period the chicks are monitored closely. As the chicks grow they start picking up independently and they moved from the nursery into the rearing areas. Millennium Group, guided by the knowledge and the experience, developed in the United Arab Emirates breeding centers such as Abu Dhabi-based International Fund of Habara Conservation, IFHC, which set the record last year 2012, by breeding 13,000 bird. National Avian Research Center, UAE. The Habara Center Dubai, UAE, is willing to participate in reinforcing the wild population of the habara in Somaliland and to release back into the hunting area, as a part of put and take falconry.